We should be back. Sorry about that, guys. OBS just crashed. We are coming back now, so we are back online. If you are with us, I do apologise. OBS did just crash. We are just coming back online now, so just give it a couple more seconds. And yeah, I apologise. You know, when computers crash, there's not really much you can do about it. You just have to roll with the punches. So I do apologise. We are coming back now. We are coming back, so you should start coming back into the room now, and I apologise. I'm very, very sorry about that. There's not really much you can do when software crashes. You just have to roll the punches. So, yeah, apologies. If you're just coming back in now, we did just experience a crash with OBS. Hopefully, you're all coming back now. So, I apologise, but we're all good. We're all good. You're all coming back in the room. So, again, sorry about that. I do apologise. So, yeah, we're what was I saying? I was just talking a second ago about SLP and what's happening. So, we know that we are in this trend. We're in this downward trend right now. And we can see this. I mean, it's been happening since back in July. So we had the run up in June, and then we had this massive spike in July where Axie just went mainstream. It had so much exposure. It had all of its outages, all of the crashes. It had this massive growth spike. And then it just, we can see the model is not sustainable. The SLP model is just not sustainable, which is why we've had this complete dump. And it's happened over the course of time, but we're at a point now where this is where it's going to test people. This is where it's really going to test the people who are just in here for a quick win, and those that believe in the mission. Those that believe that this is a long-term viable business model. And so I'm expecting right now to see some sideways movement around this 6 to 8 cent mark. I'm expecting something like this, because the worst case scenario that we can experience now, and it is possible, we have to be realistic, it is very, very possible that we could break this support going down. And if we break this support going down, there's nothing below us. There's 4 cents, there's 2 cents, and then there's going into the sub 1 cent, and like going into this, like, I mean, obviously we're not going into negative numbers, but down to here, like this is zero. Like, we don't have anything under this. So there's a whole world here, a whole world between 0 and 1 cent, where we can go into like decimalization. So it can come to like 0.0001 cent. Like, that could be what SLP's worth. And that could happen. Like, that is possible. And if that happens, then what we have to start asking ourselves is, well, what does that mean for scholars? The whole scholarship model and the whole play to earn in Axie kind of gets trashed because SLP becomes worthless. So how do you address this? Well, we address it by allowing Sky Mavis to balance. And they've said they're not ready to do a balance yet, because they know that if they have another growth spike, if they don't have the systems in place, you know, it's going to cause more trouble. And they're not ready for that yet. So the question is, and the question that we need to ask ourselves is, how long are we prepared to sit in this space? How long are we prepared to sit in this space of SLP being worth less, not worthless, but worth less than 10 cents? How long are we willing to sit in this space of SLP being worth less than 8 cents? How long are we willing to sit in this space with SLP being worth less than 5 or 6 cents? Because this is really where you have to ask yourself, why are you doing this? If you truly believe that Axie and Sky Mavis are going to make changes that are going to drive the price back up again, which I do, I believe that. If you believe that, then all we are doing in this space right now is accumulating coins. We are accumulating SLP, and we are holding it for it to come back up to a level that we can sell. Now, if you're waiting on SLP as your only form of income, it's going to be very difficult for you right now. You're going to experience a lot of pain because you're going to be working hard and earning less. Okay, and that's just a very, very unfortunate situation to be in. So what you have to do is ask yourself, are there any other forms of income that you can rely on? You know, if you have a job, great. If you're doing this for extra money, great. But if this is your only source of income, you have to ask yourself now, how long can you be prepared to wait to cash out? And if you do cash out, how much do you absolutely need to cash out? You know, it's about trying not to take everything. Trying to take only what you need. And I think we've echoed this a lot at the moment, that whilst we're in this space, whilst we're under this 10-cent ceiling, we need to only take what we need and just leave everything else in there just for now. Now, I've already marked out on here that I think we are going to see an update around the first week of October. I really, really, really hope it comes before. I really hope we see it before. Like, I hope we can see it at some point here. I think it's going to be towards the back end of this, but if we can see it before, even better. Because we have right now, from today, we've got 10 days. 10 days until the end of the month. That's 10 days that SLP can continue to dump or go sideways. Now, what I'm really hoping happens is that it hits this floor, or it hits this support line at 6 cents, and then it goes sideways. And then we get some news, and then it goes back up. That's what I'm hoping for. That's what my current plan is, that we see some sideways movement here. We get the news that the DEX comes out, and we see a pump up. Maybe we'll see a big sell-off at this point, because once it... See, now we need to think forward. So what's going to happen if we have a pump up to 10 cents? Ask yourself this question. When are you going to cash out your SLP? If you're holding SLP at the moment, which so many people are, when are you going to cash that SLP out? Probably about 10 cents, right? So it pumps back up to 10 cents, 11 cents, and then everyone starts cashing out their SLP. So then it's going to sell off again. And then what happens? We see we've seen the pump, we know it's in an upward trend, we've seen the 50% correction, which is what will happen, and that's why it will correct. And then we see another pump. Big pump. Because this is when traders and bots and everyone else comes in. And then what happens? We're up to 15 cents. Everyone that didn't sell before now sells here instead. So we see another big sell-off down to the 11 cents again, and then another pump up. And this is what I hope for. This is what I hope for. This is, for me right now, this is the best case scenario. Now, I don't know the time frame for this. I'm hoping it happens within weeks. I don't want it to take months, but we have to be prepared. And this is just one of those things. This is the life of crypto. You know, these are the risks that we take. So, with that being said, I feel like we're right now at a place where... Okay, hopefully it's working as well now. I think we're at a place right now where we just have to accept that if we're in this space, we're in this space because we really want to believe that this is the future. And I do. I believe this is the future. I believe this is going to be a fantastic opportunity for years to come. But it's not going to be without challenges. And these are not problems, these are challenges, but they're big challenges, and I grant that. And if you're in a position where you're waiting for this money and you need this money, then this is scary. This is going to be very scary for many people, and I get that. So I want you to understand that we're all in the same situation, wanting the same thing, and I know more than anything how hard this is hurting people right now. We need to be realistic. Okay, we need to be realistic. It's hurting me too. Look, I'll show you right now how much this is hurting me. Because you're not the only one suffering here, right? I bought into SLP. Let me just show you my screen. Let me come down here to my trades. So I've been buying SLP. I've been buying a lot of SLP. So here, look. On one of my trades, I'm over $2,000 down on SLP. You know, I'm $180 down here, $400 down here. I just keep buying it though. I keep buying SLP because I know it's gonna come back. I'm gonna buy more. Yeah, I don't mind the fact that I'm $4,000 down on this account. I don't mind because I know, I'm so confident it is going to come back. I really don't mind. I really, really, really don't mind. So I know right now that we're in this space where things are going sideways and it's getting very difficult for us to see. It's getting very difficult for us to see, you know, a way out. But it will happen. It will happen. And when it does, when it happens, we'll all be here to celebrate and we'll all be here to say how amazing this is. So look, just understand that this is the time, right now, this is the time when people before profits matters most. And what we mean by that is that you need to lean on the community. You need to be able to share the struggles, the frustrations, the problems. You need to be able to talk about these things within the community. So we know right now, we know that we're struggling. We know we're going through a challenging time. But that doesn't mean that it has to be bad news. So let's look at some good news, shall we? Let's look at some good news. Some good news that we can start with before we start with our... We've got about 30 minutes left before we start with our interview. And Fitzy, if you do have a chance, can you just connect us on Discord so we can get that set up? I will be doing a Discord call. Hopefully the last time, as you remember with Zyori, there was a little bit of issue with the connection on Discord. Hopefully it's going to be better today. But what we're going to have a quick look at now, I'm just going to open up the... do bear with me a sec, the browser. Here we go. And we're going to go across to the marketplace because we have some scholars who... And let me just type this in. So, Season 18 rewards. Axie. Here we go. So, we have some scholars who placed in the top 1,000 on the leaderboard. We have some scholars who placed in the top 1,000 on the leaderboard. And what that basically means is that they have received MAXS. I don't know if this stands for mini AXS or melded or minted or whatever it stands for, but the M, you know, 1000 MAXS equals 1 AXS. So I don't actually know. In fact, Fitzy, I don't know if we can establish this. I did not get a snapshot before the MMR reset, and I'm a little bit gutted by that. So I don't actually know who finished in the top 1000. M stands for mini. Okay, we'll call it mini. I just called it mini. I think everyone calls it mini. So I don't know who finished in the top 1000, but I would love to know. For now, I know Kim. I know Kim did. So let's just have a quick look, shall we? Let's just open up our account here. Let's go to our Ronin wallet for Kim. And let's see if this has worked. So what should have happened and what I was told today is... No, see, it's not in here at the moment. There's no AXS in here at the moment. But what that might mean is that I need to come here and log in. It might just mean that I need to come here and log in. And maybe I need to claim some tokens. No, see, there's nothing here to claim at the moment. In fact, it's making me log in. It's making me do all sorts of stuff. Let me see. Alright, AI. I feel like you should really know what an aeroplane looks like by now. I feel like we've done this enough now. I feel like you should know what an aeroplane looks like. Here we go, look. MAXS to AXS. We can't do the claim yet, though. So it's not there yet, but this must be where we go. So it will be coming to claim tokens, and we will need to hit this claim button. So we should have some MAXS hitting the account. Now, it's not in there yet. It's not in there yet. But I was told it would be in there today. So at some point today, that will be there. Top players will claim their rewards in-game. Ah, so they need to claim it in-game first. Let's have a look, shall we? Well, obviously we can't, but... because we're not a top player. Okay, so, I mean, it is Monday today, so... let's see. If we log into the game... will there be somewhere? Will there be somewhere that will tell you? If I click on reward... oh, yeah, look, claim. So you'll have to click this. Right, so... Whoever is in the top 1,000... What you need to do is you need to come into the game, come to the leaderboard, and you need to click on claim. When you do that, you need to send myself or Fitzy a message, post in the VIP Scholar chat in Discord. Just make us aware that you have claimed your MAXS. As soon as you have made us aware, I will log in and I will go through and I will make sure that you get 100% of that. I will make sure that you get 100% of that. Now, so this is current rank. This will be the new ranking, right? Because this. I want to talk about this as well in a moment. Look, we can see there's a lot of people here at the moment. I really want to start seeing Undisputed Noob on this leaderboard. It's going to be incredible to see you guys on here. I'm really looking forward to seeing some of the noobs on here. Seeing the noobs on here is going to be amazing. Especially for those that are looking to get competitive into the esports arena. We're really going to be looking for our esports teams are going to need to be top 100. Like, we want to be competing. So, I'm looking forward to this. So, okay. So, let's talk about this very quickly while we're here. Current rank. The current rank at the moment in the off-season has been reset. And the current rank will be 1200 MMR. This will be a permanent rank that will not be reset for the foreseeable future. Every season, when a new season starts, the MMR will reset to 1200 for the season. As soon as the season ends, the MMR will revert back to whatever the rank was before that season started. So if you're in off season and you get to 2000 MMR, and then we go into the season and you get your rank, when the season ends, you will go back to whatever your off-season rank was before that season started. So there's two MMR systems at the moment. And we don't know if it's going to be like this moving forward. It's just how it is right now. So, again, we can see here. I could go through this and have a look. I'm not sure. I know that Kim did extremely well. Actually managed to finish in the top 3000 MMR, but the crazy thing is that even in a top 3000, like, it's not enough. Like, these people are really pushing this MMR. Like, just having a look right now, like, even Elijah, look, 43rd. I mean, just some incredible players, but finishing off. Chop Suey Gaming, lol. 3,468. You need 3,500 MMR to be top of the leaderboard. You know, that's incredible. And even Sebastian, who I thought was going to be top, pipped to the post at the last minute by Gabs, who finished off. And congratulations, Gabs. That's incredible. Incredible. Oh, Kim, you're saying you claimed it just now. Well, let's do this. Let's do this live. Let's do this live. Right, so Kim's saying that... Kim, you're saying you claimed it just now. Let's refresh. There you go. Claim AXS token. Okay. Let me do a refresh. Claim AXS token. Alright, it's not doing it. Let me log out and I'll log back in. We'll see if it makes a difference. We'll try that again. See if it makes a difference. So we'll go claim token. No, it's not letting me claim right now. But we'll keep an eye on this. We'll keep an eye on this. Because what happens is now you've claimed it in-game. It's now here. You've got one AXS. Okay, but it's just not letting me do anything now. I can't claim it. As soon as I can claim it, I will do that for you. In fact, let me close down the window. Let me open up a new browser. We'll reset everything. We'll just try one more time, see if we can get it to work. All right, let's log into a different account. Let's go back. Let's go to the account. Let's log out. We're going to completely log out. Okay, now we're going to go back and try and log in again and see if we can do this. Sometimes this makes a difference. Sometimes it doesn't. It can be a bit tetchy sometimes, but let's have a look. All right, we're going to do the confirm, claim tokens, claim. No. So we can't claim at the moment, but as soon as we can, as soon as that button works, I will do that claim. Kim, congratulations. Congratulations. It's incredible the fact that you've done this. Congratulations. Do you know what you finished? In terms of your MMR, do you know what your MMR was when you finished? It'd be so good to know. But yeah, as soon as I can do that, I will claim that. and I will send that one AXS, that entire AXS, one token, I will send to you. We're not, you will get 100% of that. We are not taking a cut. Axie Scholar UK are having no claim in any rewards that are given. So you will get, and I was hoping I could have done that, because if I do this, it comes up here, right? But it just doesn't work for this one yet. So we'll keep checking. We'll keep checking, and as soon as that works, we'll send that across to you, which, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be amazing. But congratulations, Kim. So if there's anybody else that was in a position of having their, they got in the top 1,000 and they've claimed, let me know. But yeah, that's it. That's amazing. So we're going to do that. Now, we can't do it at the moment, obviously. I appreciate it's not working, but I will come back and we will make sure that works. All right, awesome. So let me just have a quick look through the comments. Congratulations, Kim. That is incredible. You did so well. And don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, you can grind MMR once you've used your energy. So just because you don't have energy doesn't mean you can't grind the MMR if you want to. You don't have to, but if you want to. So my recommendation would be to use up your energy first to get the SLP. And then if you want to, grind that MMR to get that higher level, so that when your energy resets, you're already at that level to get more SLP. So that's what we're going to be looking towards. Right. Okay, cool. So, what do we go through next? We've talked about SLP. We know where that stands. Let's pop over to Twitter because I want to have a quick look. Let's have a quick look. In fact, not on this because that's the wrong channel. Let me close this down. I want to go over to Twitter quickly because I feel right now that if I was to type in Axie into Twitter, I feel like there's a lot going on, but what I'm waiting on at the moment is, we've talked about this before, so we've talked about the two MMR systems. I feel like there's a lot of stuff going on at the moment here. And this is what I was looking for. So, I like listening to what Jeff says, and I like seeing this, because I think that if you can, and not always read between the lines, but I think if you read into this, I think you can start to understand what the core team are trying to say. So look, the MMR system is a bit different than before. You now have two ratings. Your off-season rating, this is your rating between seasons. When a season ends, you go back to this rating, and your season rating. This gets reset when a new season starts. So let's imagine you're at 1400 right before season 18 started. When season 18 started, you went back to 1200. You end the season on 21. Now the season's over, you're back to 1400. Okay, that makes sense. So we kind of understand the new rating system. Now, I don't know how that's going to affect us moving forward, but something that I do want to just touch on very quickly is the fact that Jeff also mentioned everything will change for you once you start hanging out with your Axie friends in real life. The osmosis between physical and digital will be an important theme for our nation moving forward. The osmosis between physical and digital will be an important theme for our nation moving forward. What does that mean? It means that they are going to focus on real world connections, Axie meetup groups, Axie LAN tournaments, Axie live events, maybe even esports in arena. You have to consider that if you were to take, and I'll give you this as an example right now. Have a look at the International. It is a Dota 2 competition that takes place once a year. There are minors and majors that take place through the league, and there is a league system that happens throughout the year, and then teams can qualify for the International, which is like the main event. Okay? If you take that concept of Dota and you consider when we spoke to Andrew, who was very heavily involved in Dota and moved away from that scene to come into Axie, so we know that the program lead is very, very consciously aware of this whole space. So when we take that into consideration and when we look at messages like this, I think it's safe to say that we can expect in the future some form of an esports arena style event with merchandise. There's going to be merchandise. There's going to be meetups. There's going to be land tournaments. There's going to be so much to bring Axie into the real world. And if Axie can build on this to a point where it becomes that big, then consider that right now we are at the very, very start of that happening. The very, very start of that happening. That's an incredible place to be. An incredible place to be. So, when I talk about good news, there's a lot of stuff to come in the future. And the only thing right now that can affect good news is impatience. Impatience that you can't wait for the good news. And so you focus on the bad news because bad news is always there. You can always find bad news if you look for it. Even if there is no bad news, you can make bad news up. That's what papers and media and that's what clickbait does all the time. So you can create bad news from nothing. But good news, it takes time. And that's why good news is so valuable and it's worth so much more. Because it's rare, it's scarce. It's like a scarce commodity, right? So yeah, I wanna just reiterate that point that there is good news coming, okay? And don't lose hope. So there's more good news. Had a conversation this morning with Ramp.network, and I feel like we finally have got to the point where we are in a place that we can take money back into the system. It has been a challenge to try and get funds into the Ronin wallets. And we're at a space right now where I feel like we may just be getting to that place where we can start doing it again. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to have a quick look because we have a transaction that was pending and we're going to check live on stream to see if we're going to have a look and we're going to see if this has worked. So let's have a look. Okay. It looks like at the moment the transfer is still in progress. I'm looking on the other screen right now. So, yeah. I am actually talking... I'm talking to Ramp.network at the moment about how we move forward as Axie Scholar UK. So, it's very possible that we have to link into their API directly. And we have to develop a system for sponsors to be able to deposit. It may also be that we do have a fiat account that sponsors pay into and we just deal with all of the transactions ourselves. We're going to look into that this week. But we have one successful payment and one pending. So it's good news that we have a successful payment. It means that we can now onboard a new scholar. So look, let's do this because for a long time now, I've been promising Ems. I've been saying, Ems, you're going to get your team. Ems, you're going to get your team. And for a long time now, Ems has patiently been waiting. Over a week now. Over a week, Ems has been patiently waiting. But this morning, we did manage to go out and buy the team. So, this is good news. What it also means is that we are... we don't want that. What it does mean is that we're going to be able to do that right now. So, without further ado, let me just open up the account. Here we go. Let me find Ems. I know you're in here, Ems. Where are you? Patiently waiting. Patiently waiting. Okay. So now I've got Ems. Let's do this. I'm just looking on another screen to do this live. Ems already has... Let me just log into Ems' account. 1 second. Ems, you're about to get this. You're about to get your team. So, Ems already has... In fact, let me just do this. I'll put this on this half of the screen so you can see this. And I will bring this down here so you can see this on the other half of the screen. So we've got Ems' account. There we go. And then we've got my account. Okay, so we already have one. What's this? This is the Biden's coin. Okay, so that's already there. Good. All right, let's do this. So now we need to send across this so we can have a plant. So we'll gift that. Okay. Here we go, Ems. We got it. We got you. I'm so sorry it took so long. There was nothing we can do. You know, we're unfortunately held hostage to this this onboarding process. And we actually have other sponsors who have paid. and we're trying to get that money across now. So as soon as that money comes across us now, we'll continue. But we should, this week now, we should be going into 40 scholars this week. We should have another 5 sponsorship payments clearing. I've got the funds. It's getting the funds into the account. So we're going to be doing that today. Now that this has happened this morning, there we go. That means that Ems is going to have that account. Now on another screen, what I'm going to do, and I appreciate you can't see this right now, but what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to send Ems a quick email. No, I can't do that. I have to do that after the stream, unfortunately. Ems, I'm going to do, the moment this stream ends, I will send that across to you. I need to give you your login access, but your team is there. Finally, your team is there. I can see your free Axies are in the account. They're finally there. Ems, you have them.
Gembest 10 years sent 10 stars.
Gembest, how are you doing? How are you doing? Thank you so much. Silently viewing there. So that is another Codenator team. All done. Okay, good. Right, so that's done. What do we got to do next? That's now done. Let's have a look at our account. What do we have left? We have one little poor Axie sitting on its own. How much money do we have left in the account? 0.03. Okay. So we're just going to wait for the rest of these funds to clear. And as soon as that happens, we will be buying some more. So we need another 2 Axie to be able to finish off. Yeah, all of these ones need to be sold. I need to just resell these, figure out what they're going to sell for. I'm going to try and sell them all today. I've just kind of left them at the moment. I've not even been bothered by them. Okay, so here we go. The good news now is that we have, and I can confirm this, we have Louis ready to start. I'm going to send a friend request. There we go. Friend request sent. All right, I'm looking forward to having this conversation. It's going to be fun. Okay, let's just check this out. There are so many pending requests that I have here. I'm just looking through them as we speak. So, all right, so let's get ready for our chat. We've got about 8 minutes left before we bring Louis in here. So let's just pop over and have a look and see what he has been up to. Oh, let's see what he's been up to. Here we go. His last post 9 hours ago. So let's have a quick look at this before he comes on. Okay, we've got about 5 to 6 minutes and we'll be having a chat. So, Crypto Day. Crypto Day update 46. And obviously he's saying this is not an official statement. There's been some negative content flowing around recently about Axie Infinity and Yield Guild games. Now, I don't actually know what this is. I haven't seen any negative... I haven't seen anything negative in the news. But I understand that there may have been some negative news. And I get that. One sec, I'm just sending him a quick message. Ah, there we go. We're ready to go. Ah ha ha. Got it. Perfect. So, it says there's been some negative news, but maybe we can ask about this because I don't think... He says he doesn't really want to talk about it, and I get that. The more thought we give them, the less they deserve. And I agree with this. Sometimes with trolls or with FUD or anything like that, the best thing you can do is just to ignore it. Ah, so this is the news that coming from the former Axie King. Okay, I understand. So I also know... here's what I understand. There's some people I know at the moment in the Axie Discord server that have been causing some challenges. I know there's been some conversations that have been happening. I try not to get involved in the drama too much. I try to avoid it. But yeah, I know there's been some stuff happening at the moment. But I am interested, not in so much in this news, but definitely finding out what Louis' plans are for Yield Guild Gamings as we move forward. So it'd be really good to know how he sees the vision over the next sort of 12 to 24 months, because we're trying to follow. I mean, Yield Guild Gaming are blazing a trail, and they're involved in many different games. But to have them in the Axie space is it's incredible, but it's also very comforting because it allows us to say, okay, that's what's possible. Let's see if we can, like, there's a thing in the world called modeling. And modeling is about finding somebody successful and copying them. It's not about plagiarism or copying or stealing or anything like that. It's about it's like a mentorship. It's like finding someone that's done something and saying, okay, how did they do it? And let's do it as well. So that's what we're kind of doing at the moment. We're modeling what's happening. And I love the idea of being able to model Yield Guild games because they're doing incredible. So I'm excited to find out about this. I'm also really interested to talk about the Crypto Pop Art Guild, to find out what's happening here as well. Because I think that this is fantastic how he is giving an opportunity to scholars to come on board who are artistic. And I love the idea of that. So we're going to talk about that as well. Cody, you are not late. Do not worry, my friend. We're just getting started. So yeah, there's a lot going on. And we're going to talk more about this. But rather than me talking via a Facebook message or looking at an update, why don't we actually make a phone call? And why don't we actually see if we can speak to the man himself, who I believe should be online. Hello, sir. Can you hear me? Hello, hello. Luis, can you hear me, sir?
Yes.
Hello. How are you doing today?
Evening.
Let's do this.
Are you, sorry, do you have a video feed? Oh, okay, there.
I do,
Whoa.
but just bear with me a second while I sort this out.
Thing.
So what I'm going to
okay.
do right now, bear with me a second, is I'm just going to share it with you, but I'm also going to share it with the stream. Stream, just give me 2 seconds while we just flip this over. Okay, let's do that. All right, here we go. Now, all I need to do is just... Here we go. That's what we were looking for. I've got you. There we go. Your camera is incredible, by the way. You look amazing.
Thank you.
You look
Thank
amazing.
You.
I thought I looked good. But...
NFT art sales.
Well, let's just bring you up on the stream so that we can introduce you properly and get this going. Bear with me just 1 second. Here we go.
No problem.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. We're good. There we go. Hello, hello. Welcome to the stream.
Thank you so much.
Oh,
good evening, everyone.
I am loving that hat.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm loving the hat. So what I'm trying to do at the moment is just arrange my screen on OBS. So please just give me a couple of seconds. And I'm sorry about this.
No problem.
We had a crash this morning. So as we were kind of setting everything up, OBS decided to crash. And I've literally been rebuilding the... I've been rebuilding as I've been talking on stream. So we're all good.
Wow. Okay.
We're all good. We're just... we just want to make sure that... Yeah. There we go. We're good to go. We want to make sure it all looks good.
I'm not very good at the whole OBS thing, so I feel for you.
It's all good. We're good. We're there now. So I believe we're set up. You look fantastic. And yeah, we're good to go.
Awesome.
All right. Amazing. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome. And I just want to make sure I get this right. How do I pronounce your name correctly?
So Luis.
Luis.
Spanish. Yeah, and then Buenaventura, it means well, it means good venture in English, but it's also a Spanish name.
Buenaventura. Okay, fantastic.
Yeah.
But Luis. Okay, I want to make sure I pronounce it correctly. I wasn't sure because in the UK it sounds kind of like Lewis, but
yeah.
I imagine you might get a lot of it.
Yes, we do, and that's fine. Like I don't mind so much, honestly. I mean, generally speaking, I'm the only Luis on a podcast. So there's not that much confusion.
I think this is when I find out customer support sometimes for the bank, and I'm speaking to an Indian gentleman called Bob, and I kind of find there
you go.
I find it interesting some of the names that people use, but I understand. But no, Luis. Okay, we will make sure we pronounce that correctly. I just wanted to double check first. Well, look, firstly, thank you for your time and welcome to Undisputed Noobs. We are a very passionate gaming community. We're very new into the Axie space. But we're definitely making a dent so far, and I'd like to think that we are going to make some positive change in the Axie community, especially with our motto "People before profits." So we very much believe in the community. Yes, we want to make some money, and we think that it's important that people have that ability, but we're people first, and I think that's given us a slight advantage over our model. We have a very different model for scholarships that you might not have seen before. And maybe we'll talk about that a bit later, but we're not really interested in us today. We're interested in you. So I want to know, before we get into Yield Guild games and everything that you're doing with the Crypto Pop Art Guild, which is fantastic, by the way, who are you? Like, who is Lewis? Like, how did you come to get into crypto?
Okay, so I'll do the short version.
Sure.
Yeah, so I've been in crypto for about 7.5 years now. I discovered it in 2014, right around the time that Mt. Gox was imploding.
Wow.
So a whole bunch of people were losing their money. You know, like it was a bad time to get in. I'll tell you that, right? Because, you know, that was the year when Bitcoin hit its $1,000 high. And then over the course of the next 12 months, it dropped all the way down to $180. So my first experience with cryptocurrency was, I would say it was a very important lesson in how volatility works. And that is, you know, kind of, it changed the way I kind of look at the whole thing, because it made me feel like, you know, you really need to understand what you're getting into before you just kind of jump in headlong. And, you know, depending on when someone got into crypto, they will usually have very different feelings about it. Because if you got in maybe, you know, early 2017, which is kind of when a lot of people did, you would have been seeing 20x your money by the end of the year. And that would be kind of, that would be like a weak return. Many people saw 100x returns that same year. But if you got in a year after that, in 2018, then your, you know, the size of your holdings would be kind of going down, right? So the timing of when you enter the space is so critical, I guess, to how you feel about it. And that's why generally when I, you know, kind of talk to newbies and stuff like that, I always try to remind them that it is not that 100x miracle that you're waiting for. You have to be kind of ready for, you know, you have to plan for the worst.
Yes.
Because it does happen fairly consistently, almost every 4 years, actually, as it happens. So yeah, so like I've gone through a couple of these, you know, kind of pumps and dump cycles, kind of in these 4-year Bitcoin halving related things. In 2017, I happened to be in San Francisco, hanging out in one of those Bitcoin meetups. It was long enough ago that Coinbase was still paying for everyone's beers if you showed up at the Bitcoin meetup. So I was there because I wanted some free drinks. And I happened to bump into some folks who were talking about art. And I come from an art school background, so I'm super into this stuff. And also, I was really into the idea of making art about, you know, crypto and Bitcoin and things like that. I'd already started doing doodles and things like that online at the time. And I said, hey, is there any way that I can contribute some of my art to your little project? Right. So that project turned out to be the world's first NFT art collection that was called Curio Cards. They launched it about a month or two after my visit to SF. And, you know, as luck would have it, it sold zero. It made no money. And the startup, the guys that I was talking to back then, you know, kind of they faded into obscurity, and I never heard from it again.
Wow.
Now, fast forward to 2021. And I wake up one morning and my Twitter DMs are blowing up, and all of these people are asking me about this Curio Cards project that people had unearthed, and they realized based on the timestamp on the blockchain that this was the world's first NFT art collection. And I said, I don't even remember what that was. So I had to go through my own archives to kind of check like what the hell was going on. And then, yeah, so the next couple of months, it was just like a whirlwind, you know? So they unearthed it, they dusted off the old smart contracts. They realized that they could make it work with OpenSea, which is the largest NFT marketplace on the internet right now. And they relisted the entire collection.
Wow.
And as luck would have it, it is a fairly popular collection right now because it is provably the first in the world. So I believe the current count is it's traded about 28,000 Ethereum.
Wow.
It's about $100 million.
Wow.
And you know, the artists make a little bit of that. I mean, obviously it's not ours at this point, it's not ours anymore. It's the secondary market that's kind of making that money. So we still make royalties, but kind of one of the so upon reflection, right? So after all of this stuff has happened, and kind of it was basically a very unexpected windfall for me, where I was not expecting to make kind of royalties from this project that I had literally forgotten about 4 years ago. But here it was, right? It was happening regularly. Like every couple of weeks, we were receiving royalties from OpenSea. Upon reflection, I realized that this is basically cryptocurrency in a nutshell, where you don't know kind of what will happen next, and you try to work as hard as you can, but then at some point luck and randomness will just kind of take over, and what matters is what you do with that, what you do with kind of those outcomes.
Yes.
Right. And so where I am right now on a personal level is I'm redirecting as much of those royalties as I can into my art guild to kind of put these other artists into a position where luck and randomness can help them along also. But you kind of have to set up that base layer where they have some money to put food on the table, they have some equipment that they can work with, all of that stuff. So that's what the guild is doing. It's trying to kind of do all that. Sorry, I just kind of skipped ahead because
no.
Like
this is incredible, because I feel like this is. I love NFTs. I'm completely addicted to NFTs, but I'm also realistic in knowing that we are in a bubble, and that has to at some point settle. And whatever point that happens, I think that it's the utility. The NFTs, with like the same with crypto, you've got your poo coins and you've got your shit coins and things like that. I think that with Doge and Shiba and all of those things, people like when I talk to people that don't know about crypto and they say, "Oh, I'm in crypto," and I'm like, "Okay, what are you involved in?" Like just trying to get a level of where they are, And they say, "Oh, I bought some Shiba," and I'm like, "Okay, we should have a chat.
Oh, boy.
Let me see if I can help." Just guide you away from that wall. But I find that NFTs are the same. There's a lot of people aping into some of these projects right now, and look, right or wrongly, I feel for them because I don't want anyone to get wrecked. But some people will. It's just the nature of the beast. The market will correct itself.
Yeah.
And as you rightly said, you have to, unless you've been through those cycles, you don't know. Like I bought Bitcoin back in sort of 2014. I sold Bitcoin in 2015.
Yep.
So I kind of, I went.
Yep.
I was there.
Lesson learned.
Mentally, I was there. It's just I didn't have the, I didn't understand HODL at that time. It wasn't in my vocabulary.
Sure,
It is now. So I learned that
I mean, I totally understand that.
Yeah, that was the painful lesson for me, realizing how much I had and sold and what it would have been worth. And so I won't make those mistakes again. But sometimes you need that experience, right? I got back into crypto in April this year. So anyone could turn around to you and say, that's the worst possible time to get in because I literally rode the wave down. However, I've consistently made money every month in that kind of bear move because I learned how to trade. I knew what coins to get. I pivoted and I was staking, and I've looked at NFTs as a way to pivot again. So I think it's very possible to make money in a bear market, or even when the markets are going down, as long as you've got the experience to know what to do and how to do it. And I think that's been a big challenge for many people, is they jumped in at the beginning of the year or before, even not at the beginning of the year. Some people are jumping in now because it's starting to go back up. And to have someone like yourself who's had this phenomenal success. And I think the key lesson here from this is that people often turn around to me and say, I'm lucky. Oh, you're so lucky. And I think to myself, thanks, but it's not luck. Like, I made this luck. I worked hard. And I worked hard when no one else was willing to work. Like, you created that collection when nobody else was doing anything. And so it's not luck that you just so happen to be noticed now. Like, you created that content. And I think for anyone out there, artists, whether it be graphical artists, musicians, whatever form of art you're involved in, you need to be creating. Like, you have to continuously be creating regardless of what the markets are doing. And you have to do it because you love creating, not because you want to get paid. And I think Axie is the same. I think there's some similarities there. You don't play Axie because you want to get paid. You play it because you love the community.
Mm, mm.
But
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, it's
So so one of our mottos now is proof of work, proof of artwork, um, because like it matters to us that you put the time in, right? I mean, this is not like it's not a charity.
of
We're not
course
just giving you money.
no,
Like we are going to help guide you. We're going to help fund you, but you have to put the time in,
yeah,
right? And I think that that's kind of what you can. That's all you can really ask for. And what I find wonderful about kind of the artists in the guild right now, and even the ones who are kind of just trying to get into the guild right now, I find it wonderful that everyone there is just working their butts off to do their best content, right? And that's all we're asking for, and hopefully we can put them on a path where they can, kind of be rewarded greatly for their efforts. And yeah, so that's the goal. That's the goal. And obviously we will see
of
how good the
course.
guild actually is at that. But yeah, so
But the fact
but that's the goal.
the fact that you're doing it's incredible. You see, I find that there's a lot of people doing the same thing, and that's great. I've got nothing against that, but I find that the people that you how can I explain this? It's like if you take two things, like you take toffee on its own, it's a great product. You take an apple, it's a great product. You take toffee apples, you combine the two together, you've got a new great product. The fact that you've taken something that's amazing and you've combined it with something that's amazing to create something even more amazing, I love this because
Thank you.
to me, this is what NFTs are. NFTs are, and there's another token that I'm involved with, which is separate from Axie and everything, but it's called Audius, and it's about music artists, and it's a streaming platform, and I really feel like NFTs are going to challenge platforms like iStock. They're going to challenge platforms like Spotify, and I think that for the first time, we're going to be able to cut the middleman and the centralized entity out of the equation so that artists can be fairly rewarded for their work.
Yeah.
Like, to me, that's NFTs.
Yeah.
And I,
Right. No, I mean, I totally agree. Totally agree.
I think that's what a lot of people miss when they see an NFT and think, oh, I can buy this and then sell it for 100,000 because I've seen it on Twitter or YouTube. And I think that this is where Axie just blew me away because, again, it's about utility. There has to be utility in the token. In the crypto, in the NFT, whatever it is, there has to be something behind it that can withstand the bear market. And this whole concept of breeding and having an NFT which you can breed and the genetics involved, I still can't quite, I can get my head around it now, but I just can't believe that I get to experience it in my lifetime. I feel really blessed. I feel humbled. Because I look at Z.Run, I look at D-Race, I look at all of these that are taking this concept and turning it into horse racing, turning it into dog racing, turning it into family trees like Ancestry.com where you can track your family tree. Like the blockchain and NFTs, there's so much application, like potential for this. And people keep coming to me and saying, "Oh, but you're late. We've missed the boat." I'm like, "You're so early right now."
Yeah, for sure.
We're still at the start of this, and I think it's people like yourselves, and this is why I love talking to you, because it's people like yourselves who are creating this safe space for the artists to be able to experience this space, and for you to be able to guide them. There are not many people like you doing this. And I just want to acknowledge you and say thank you for that. People, of course, people will. People, it's like Roger Bannister with a 4-minute mile. Everyone will copy once it's been done, but no one's willing to. No one People talk about leaders, right? I always and they always say, like, you see that image of that man. I don't know if you remember, like the Spartan warrior with all the arrows, and he's like the one, leading the way and blazing the trail. But you are enabling hope throughout generations to come of what is possible, because how many artists out there right now are struggling because they're being either abused or they're not even being noticed.
Right.
And you have created this platform and this ability, and I absolutely love that. And I want people that are listening to be able to realize the depth, not just to Axie, but to NFTs and crypto, and how this is changing the world. It's it still blows. I'm so humbled by this. It blows my mind. And to have someone like yourself share this journey. And I didn't even know that that's how you got involved in this space. So, and I did some reading. I did a bit of research on you, but I feel like I missed that. So thank you for sharing.
I mean, it's because I don't usually talk about that part because it's not been relevant to kind of these types of conversations until very recently, right? But like I realized that the thing that I wanted to impart to a lot of people is that there is a viable way to, you know, make a reasonable living as an artist now.
Yes.
And I kind of accidentally found that, possibly. But like what I'm going to do with that information is I'm going to try to, you know, kind of like help a whole bunch of other artists kind of find that same path. Right? I mean, obviously their journeys are going to be very different from mine because I don't think many of them will be in a Bitcoin meetup hosted by Coinbase in San Francisco on a random Thursday night.
Drinking free beer.
Talking to some, yeah, right. Like that part of the story is hard to replicate, but there's going to be others, right? There's going to be other opportunities, and we will make those other opportunities.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah,
I think
so
the more you
that's
show
it
up,
right
the
now.
more you create opportunity.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, proof of work.
Absolutely,
right?
I love it. Proof of artwork. I love this concept.
Yeah, proof of artwork.
So this has started with Axie, right? Like for now, with what you're doing, but. What are the plans moving forward? Because I'm assuming it's not just going to be limited to Axie.
Right. Well, so I guess I should probably mention that my expertise with Play to Earn is very limited to Axie because that's all I know. But thankfully, I'm part of YGG, and YGG is basically like the expert on all of these other things, right? So we've got a whole list of other P2E games that we're looking at right now. Granted, Axie Infinity is basically 95% of the market just because they're so dominant, right? So that's kind of where you would put most of your eggs, but it doesn't have to be just there.
No,
like there's a whole bunch of other ones that are contenders. So my thing is, we'll follow the lead of kind of YGG when it comes to things like what's the next game that we need to have presence in. But then kind of always never losing sight of the fact that the ultimate goal for the guild, for my guild, is that the artists will not need the play to earn income anymore, right? That they will just be able to kind of sustain themselves as artists indefinitely, just kind of on their own steam. So what happens to the Axies? Well, we just kind of give it to someone else, right? The next set of scholars or whatever. So we'll just keep kind of cycling the assets back into the guild, getting new people on.
Nice.
Eventually, the goal is to graduate everyone.
I love this.
So that they can kind of do what they want, right? Be an artist. Yeah.
Can you talk me through that because I love this, because I think that this is such a fantastic concept that you've hit here, is that play to earn is a stepping stone to your passion.
Right.
And a lot of people want to be artists but need to put food on the table, right? So they turn to play to earn as a way to be able to get them through. But if they could make money out of that artistry, then they wouldn't need the play to earn, and they could give it to someone else to pay it forward almost. So how does graduation look to you? Because I'm fascinated in the different, like there are a lot of people doing graduation in the different ways, right? There are some people that have scholarships that don't understand what it means, and they don't even have graduation. Like there's a lot of people who are like, you're never going to graduate. Let's be honest. There's some managers out there, and that's not the plan. We've made a real point of that in our community, but I'm fascinated to hear how you're planning to do that with the recycling.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, with us, it's a little bit more. So it's very connected with the whole idea of NFT art drops. So the idea is that we'll keep dropping these group exhibits, right? So we'll keep doing these group exhibits with kind of progressively larger and larger batches of artists. So at the moment, we're small. There's 42 of us. The goal is 100. You know, we could very easily just do a group exhibit right now. But I don't think we're ready yet. I think what we want to do is we want to kind of come up with a good narrative for it and make sure that the right people are kind of like hear about it beforehand. And the thing about NFT art drops is it's all about kind of making sure that there is a ready set of buyers and collectors that already know that you guys are about to do something. And we've not had time yet to kind of build that credibility and reputation.
course.
So what I would like to do really is like over the next couple of months is like slowly build up to something where we do a big NFT art drop with all of these artists. And again, the nice thing about NFT art is that your royalties will roll in forever. So if you can set up the artist in such a way that, you know, he does one cool thing on OpenSea, and it's part of a numbered collection that will constantly be added to, right? It's an infinite series because we'll always have new artists contributing to this set. So that means that the collection will continue to be traded, kind of like these generative things like the apes and things like that, right? Except in the case of the apes, none of that is actually created by humans. It's all algorithmic.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And like in our case, we want to have 100 different styles, 1,000 different styles if we're able to find the capital for that many artists, right? So that's one. And then the other thing is that I've got a whole bunch of mentors that are also investors in the guild. And these guys work in the design industry here. So we've got people like the Team Manila guys, which is a design house here. You've got people like AJ, one of the mentors, who's a member of the Adobe Creative Council. So the idea is that, you know, as our artists get better and better, as they start to decide which path they want to take, do they actually want to be an artist, or do they want to be more of a designer? Do they want to work in advertising? We can find career paths for them using the kind of the crop of mentors that we have. So again, kind of making it so that they don't need the play to earn stepping stone anymore. But you know, all of that stuff it'll be their decision when they're ready to do that.
Yeah.
I imagine that at some stage, you know, if you're a true artist, you probably just want to do that full time. Like Axie Infinity 2 to 3 hours a day, that's not bad. It's certainly not bad, but that's still an extra 2 hours that you could have spent just working on your craft.
Well, exactly.
So yeah. And I think that it will happen kind of differently for different people. Like some people might just actually, so I'm already starting to sense that there are people who want to get really, really good at Axie instead of being an artist. And I'm like, and too. I mean, like, hey man, if you want to be in the top 1,000 Axie players in the world, it could be very lucrative for you also. So the guild also has the possibility of doing that. I mean, we're not as geared for it as maybe your guild or some of the other guilds that are very, very focused on the game. I mean, I'm not a great player. Like, I barely can hang on to a 2,000 MMR.
I mean, that's still an achievement in itself, right? I'm still struggling at 1,200. Every time the season resets, I've gained MMR.
Oh, have you? Oh, okay.
But I think here's the thing. I didn't intend to get into Axie I didn't know the community existed, and so when I got into Axie, and I've been very transparent with this, I was looking to make money. I was hedging from trading for when the bear market comes, because I'm very much aware of the halving. I'm aware of we're going to potentially go into a bear cycle at the end of the year. And so I wanted something that could sustain throughout that cycle, and I thought that play to earn would be a great hedge against the markets. Yeah. And it was only when I got into, and I started breeding, by the way. That was how I got into Axie. It was through the breeding program, and I started setting up breeding farms. And then I realized that you could have scholars, and I thought to myself, that sounds like a lot of work. I don't really want to do it. And then I saw some posts about how it was changing people's lives, and I watched a documentary in the Philippines that showed the whole play to earn thing, and that was it. Like, in that moment, I just knew that was the route I was going down. And so I actually jumped on a call with Dave versus Axie, and he was kind of going into a whole I'm not going to say rant, because it was a very passionate dialogue, I think is a better word rather than a rant, about how people were being exploited in the Philippines, and about how there was this exploitation of labor, and how people weren't being given fair scholarships. And I questioned, because I was just starting out and I didn't know the best way to start up. So we started out with like a 45% for the scholar, 45% for us, 5% into like a community chest and 5% as get like insurance in case an account got bricked, because I didn't know what I was doing, and it was a whole learning as we went. And then we had this conversation, and as a result, I removed the kind of 5% insurance, and we removed the community guild, and we went 50-50. And then I started looking at the model, thinking, well, I don't really like how does a scholar graduate? And this is why I was so fascinated by what you said, because so many managers out there talk about scholarships, but the manager owns the NFT, the scholar never owns it, and all the scholar can do, they're employed, they're just basically working. And if anything happens to Axie or anything happens to that manager, then that scholar's left without. Right. And so that to me wasn't good enough. Like that wasn't going to work for me. So I started looking at what could be done differently. And also I had a scalability issue. Like I had thousands of people applying for scholarships, and I was like, I can't fund these, and the breeding program's not quick enough, and I didn't like the 5-day wait for every breed, and I never knew what was going to come out. It was and I've never given a single chop. Like I've never given a random Axie to anyone. Even my first scholar got AAP as a lineup, and we went like Koi backline, we went for a Nemo mid. So I tried to really plan this, and that was actually when I met Cody. So Cody was on my stream, and he must have been really suffering watching me, because he reached out and said, look, I don't like reaching out to people, but I just have to help you because you're so bad. and I love it, because what happened is it built this incredible relationship with Cody, who actually, it was Cody that introduced me and you together. So the fact that we're here today, can we get a hashtag Cody in the chat, please? Coach Cody in the chat. It was Cody who has... He's been here throughout everything that we've done, and it's phenomenal, because what we've built. Oh, Cody, you're saying you never sent that. I can see the chat, but you definitely said I was terrible. But what happened was, I learnt very quickly that it was people before profits, and that we needed a way for our scholars to graduate. And so what we did is we said, okay, we'll take 50%, but then the 50% that goes to the scholar, they'll get 50% every month. We do it every 2 weeks now. But out of our 50% that we take, we're going to take 25% of that, and we're going to create almost like a rent to own. So they're doing play to earn, and they're doing play to own. So over the course of 12 months, the scholars are now buying their Axie. So we're buying them up front, and they're buying them off us over the course of a year. And so at the end of 12 months, when our scholars graduate, they own their Axie. And a decent team. So then we had this season 18 change, and PvE didn't kind of work as well, and it went into arena. And all of our scholars were ready because they all had decent teams. And now we've got Coach Cody, and he spends... I mean, if you was to come into our Discord and see, every single day, Coach Cody is in our Discord. He's training scholars. He's working on... tactics and doing one-to-one sessions and helping people, because that's what he loves to do. Like with yourself with the artists, Cody wants to coach. That's his passion. Right. So the fact that he can help people to become better players. I mean, we had our first scholar this last season just gone. They cleared 3,000 MMR. Ooh. Which and they've only been playing for 2 or 3 weeks.
Fuck, okay.
So,
all right.
This is like, okay, like we're onto something here. We've got a great coach. We've got a great team. And so we don't actually breed anymore. We just buy directly from the marketplace. Huh. And so what we've started doing now is we've started finding external investors, angel investors, sponsors that can come on board, and we can say to you, hey, look, you want some exposure to crypto, but you don't really know how to get started or don't really want the hassle. Give us your money. We will use it to buy an Axie team. We will onboard a scholar. We will show you how that scholar's doing, and you can change a life and get a positive ROI in the process. So now the sponsor's happy because they're getting paid. The scholar's happy because they own their team. We're happy because we take 25%. It's a win-win-win.
Yeah.
So I love it. And so that's kind of how we've evolved into this people before profits kind of community that we're growing now.
So no more breeding at all, not necessary. You
well, I can't at the moment. Gas fees are just ridiculous.
Oh yeah, that's true.
But I'd like to.
Okay.
I'd like to help, but no, we don't need to. I have people daily now saying, look, I really want to sponsor a scholar. The money comes into the account. We upload. We buy the team, and off they go. We set them up. So now our biggest problem is getting in front of as many. And being in the UK, I'm quite fortunate and privileged that I have access to networks of people with large sums of money. I mean, I'm doing pitching meetings in next month and at the end of this month where I'm going to be sitting in front of angel investors like Dragon's Den's kind of style, pitching Axie Infinity. So we'll see. We'll see where it goes. I mean, I definitely feel like
experience like. Yeah. What's your experience like with the manager level? Because that's always where I feel like you're never gonna run out of potential scholars. Right. Because there's
after the Philippines, there's other countries as well. I mean, absolutely.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. Yeah. And then possibly if you're in the correct networks, investors will probably be, relatively easy enough to find. Right.
Yeah.
But like I've always wondered, like, what's the path for kind of building your management layer when you are beyond 100 scholars? I don't know what your numbers are. Like, I imagine you're probably already beyond 100.
No, we've only launched 5-6 weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
So we're coming up to by the end of this month. We want to be at 100. We're currently at 35 today. We'll be at 40 by the end of this week. We had a bit of a limitation last week with the ramp network and the verification process, so we were struggling to get money into the accounts. But that actually got cleared up this morning. We were talking about it before you come onto the stream. So I have a limited company. Axie Scholar UK actually sits under a limited company in the UK. So we're doing everything officially. And we're trying to do everything. Like, I've talked to other managers. I've talked to managers that have got hundreds and hundreds of scholars. And the biggest concern that I hear echoed throughout the managers is, I'm really worried about what happens when tax is due. Like, there's a real fear from scholars as well. Like, scholars are, they've got it. And the whole thing in the Philippines, I know it's all still up in the air. But there's a real fear around tax. And I get that. And in the UK with HMRC, it's a problem because there's no documents, there's no answer right now. There's like a catch-all umbrella that just puts crypto into a box, and it all sits in that box. So to answer your question, I think the biggest challenge right now with scalability for me is automation. It takes quite a long time to do payouts. But I have a CRM system. So everybody that applies through our website fills in a form, and that automatically goes into a CRM system. And then we filter people based on scores, based on criteria of how helpful they are. How much do they show up? How much are they willing to make a difference? Are they congruent? Does their message on Discord match their message on their social media profile? There's a lot of things that we look into because obviously there are bad actors out there and there are people that try to abuse the system. And we get that. So we try to mitigate against that as much as possible. As well as trying to make sure that the people that need it the most, like the people that can't afford to feed themselves, of course we want to help them people first. But if we say that, everyone's going to tell us they can't feed themselves. Right. So we have those challenges.
I think you just did.
Say again?
I think you just did. I think you just did tell me.
Oh, yeah, but the thing is we're aware of that. So we have our processes as well. And the thing is, like, our scholars, like our applicants know. We have one. They can accept. They can send in one application if they send anything over social media, over Discord, through DMs. If they do more than one application, they're disqualified from the process. Yeah. So, and the reason we do that is because we have very simple rules, but they have to be followed. Because otherwise, if we can't trust you to follow simple rules like that, how can we trust you to not multi-account? How can we trust you to, to look after the best interest of the community? And I'll be quiet because I don't want to talk anymore. I really want to talk to you. But we had a scholar get hacked recently, and it was so painful. But because of the community that we've built, and this blew me away, Lewis. I get goosebumps just thinking about this. People that were struggling to earn money, who were getting their first paycheck, took a portion of their paycheck and gave it to the scholar that got hacked.
Whoa!
Like, it blew me away. Like, how...
Wow.
This isn't just a community. Like, that word isn't like something we throw around. Like, our scholars are family.
Huh.
And that's what we're building here.
That's really... Yeah, okay. That's something.
It blows... And when people see that coming into this, it just...
Yeah.
I can't... And... Yeah, there are other games, there are other things out there, but Axie really, as you said, is this dominating force. And so,
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
kind of why,
Jesus. Okay.
yeah,
That's a great story. That's a
oh,
great story.
I can't. I'm so blessed to be doing what I'm doing right now. Like I got into crypto to make money. Like that was why I got into crypto, and I found this, and I had a business, and my business was doing okay, and I was doing okay, and I'm very privileged and very blessed to be in London and to live in a country that has all of this prosperity. But I've never been humbled in the way that I've been humbled recently. Like the initiatives that we're doing, and it doesn't even matter that it's the Philippines. I don't care what country it is. The fact that people are struggling and need help, and that we're able to help them wherever they are in the world, that's my mission. That's my focus. So I'm just using Axie as the vehicle to get us there, which kind of leads me on to what you do, sir. Yield Guild Games. You are a force to be reckoned with right now. I mean, there's no catching you, right? If you were a cryptocurrency, and you are, I'd call you the Bitcoin of the crypto of the NFT world. I mean, it's incredible what you're doing. You are blazing a trail that we're trying desperately to follow. And I'd love to know what transitioned you into this role as the country manager for the Philippines.
Country manager.
Yeah, and congratulations on that,
yeah.
by the way. That's a recent
Thank you.
a recent
Yeah,
pivot.
very
for you.
recent, very recent. Yeah.
So
I should, for sure, yeah, and I should mention that, you know, kind of the YGG you know, startup and concept. This is Gabby Dizon and Beryl Lee. These are our two founders, and also Owl, who is anonymous. Anyway,
well, he was until you just mentioned him.
Yeah. He has. I don't know what his real name is. Like I've never met the guy.
I think he might really be Ice Frog from Dota, you know.
Oh, wonderful. Actually, that would be amazing if he was, actually. Like, wow, that guy has been busy. But yeah. So, like, they spotted an opportunity to kind of do something that was both, you know, helpful to the community, and also like really novel, kind of earlier on, like in 2020. And so me and Gabby, we've known each other for, you know, over a decade. Like, you know, the crypto scene, sorry, the startup scene here in the Philippines is very small. So we've known each other from like maybe about 16 years ago. We've never had a chance to work together. And he's always been on the game side, and I've always been kind of on the tech and exchange side. And, you know, kind of, you know, with YGG, we found kind of an excuse to come together and work on something that was actually like really, you know, really important to both of us. Because and I mean, obviously I don't speak for Gabby, but I think that he would agree that, you know, both of us have been working within the startup scene here in the Philippines for a really, really long time, and neither of us have found substantial success until the YGG thing came along, and suddenly the whole world seems to be interested in putting money into a company whose main mission is to give away 90% of its money. So kind of the model of YGG is that, you know, we only make 10% of any of these scholars' earnings. 70% goes to the scholars, 20% goes to the manager, and then YGG itself only makes 10%. And that's kind of the model that we've been trying to push.
Right.
Now, I can see why it won't work for a lot of different scenarios, right? I mean, with my art guild, I couldn't do 70-30 because it would have been unrealistic. And I also need my mentors to be interested in spending their time with my guild members. There's a lot of different models that will work for this stuff, but the YGG model is kind of like that. And the fact that kind of all of these big name investors like Andreessen Horowitz and stuff like that are interested in a model like this, I thought was just also kind of mind-blowing. I was like, holy crap, yeah, you have really got something here, Gabby. That was kind of like, you know, when we were talking about it, I was saying that I don't think I've ever seen anything quite like this. And for once in our lives, the Philippines is at the center of this phenomenon, unlike in practically every other internet phenomenon where the Philippines tends to be kind of on the fringes.
Yes.
And that was such a big deal for us because, you know, we've spent all of our time trying to, you know, kind of beef up the local ecosystem, and now we're doing something where the local ecosystem is our main customer. for the first time ever.
Well, you're
So it was
almost
such
doing
a
what the
big deal
government
for us
couldn't.
as entrepreneurs. Yeah. Well, I mean, let's not go. I'm not supposed to say anything political.
Of course, no, and we won't, of course. But yeah,
yeah.
it's taken us to actually make that change, though. And see, this is what fascinates me, is that I've been aware of the Philippines as a country since I started business, when websites like People Per Hour, Elance, or what used to be, Upwork, because in the UK I struggled so much building websites, because that wasn't my company is a website building company. And I would go from charging a lot of money to clients in the UK to build websites to all of a sudden being undercut by someone in the Philippines who could half the time do a better job than me, cheaper than me. And I was like, okay, so I actually wrote a book on this, because the problem I found was the people in the Philippines didn't understand business, and the business owners didn't understand people in the Philippines, and there was a disconnect with communication. And so what I did is I kind of tried to bridge that gap. And I feel the same thing kind of happening now, is that people are looking to, like, the Philippines is on center stage right now. And the irony behind this is it didn't even start in the Philippines. It started was it in Vietnam, wasn't it? Right? The developers? Actually, Vietnamese developers that have launched in the Philippines that are not even in we're not even in the App Store yet. We're not even in Western civilization. Like, people are starting to hear about Axie through like news sources, but not to the point where they understand or they acknowledge it. They're just hearing it. It's noise.
Right.
And I think at the point when people do really hear about this, and it hits the app stores, and it starts to become very easy to get money in and out, like with the decks and things like that, I think we're going to go to a whole new level.
It's going to be bonkers, right? It's going to be bonkers when that happens.
Staking AXS for people in the Philippines, I mean, you've just given them a savings account that they can transfer their income from SLP into AXS, stake it, and now they've created financial wealth for themselves and their family.
Yeah.
Like, never before have we been able to do something like this in the history of humanity. I can't.
Yeah.
This is why I'm humbled and blessed to be alive at this point, I think, to experience this, because I'd started to give up on humanity a little bit. The whole corporate greed, seeing that whole train move, and the run to the back of the room with your credit card and give me your money even though you haven't got any. I saw so much of that, and I thought there has to be more to commercialization than just money. Like, there has to be something above and beyond, like with the ethical and sustainable approach. And so, to have you doing that in YGG and focusing on that, I mean, to give away 90%, you're right, it's not sustainable to anybody else. But yet, you managed to raise, was it 15 million? In 31, was it 31 seconds or 32 seconds? I forget.
It was it was 12.5 million during the token sale. It was it was definitely under a minute. I don't know the exact number, because honestly, I was watching it, and then I went to get a drink,
and it was over.
When I came back, it was over, and I was like, oh wait, what just happened there? But anyway, so like we're definitely in a good spot. We're very lucky that we're well resourced at this point. And I think that the goal now is to just make sure that we can reach as many people as possible. Right. That's the ultimate responsibility here. And in a way, YGG is a bigger version of kind of my own personal thing with my own art guild, right? I mean, because I have some resources to use now, the most important thing I can do with it is try to reach as many people as possible. So it's great that both my main job, my day job, I guess it's like my full-time job, and my kind of side thing roughly have the same kind of like the mindset is very similar. Just try to help as many people as you can, and do it in a way that is kind of puts them in a long-term better financial position. Like, it's not enough to just kind of give them money right now, right? So the idea is that you put them in a position to just sustain themselves indefinitely. And with the art guild, it's a little bit more obvious how to do that. With YGG, we're kind of working on a whole bunch of other initiatives that I'm not supposed to talk about just yet, but I can tell you that it's along the lines of kind of continued education, like putting scholarships back in scholarships.
Yes.
Because we use the word scholarship, we don't actually mean
Well,
education.
this
but
is what we were talking about. There's no. It's
yeah,
just a
yeah,
word that's being used.
yeah, exactly. But there's so many of our players, I imagine with you also, that never got to finish school.
Yep.
So is there a way for us to set them up where they can finish school if they want to,
I
right?
love
And
this.
pursue other interests.
We've
So
already
things like
started
that are
doing this
kind
in
of very
Discord, and I know it's nothing.
Yeah.
I know it's nothing that is recognized yet from an educational standpoint. I'm sure it will be, but yeah, we've already started putting aside like financial wealth, health and well-being, health and fitness. Just to be able to bring in experts in those different categories to give guidance and advice, because we are. I feel at the moment responsible for the well-being of the people that come on board, and that well-being is not just financial. It has to be intellectual, emotional, and financial. It has to cover, like, well-being to me has to cover all three.
Physical,
Absolutely,
all of those
it has to
things.
be
For
everything.
Sure, for sure.
And so I'm curious with everything that you're doing, because you've got your. I mean, and it's not just this, because I've seen your posts. You give insights into crypto. You give an awareness through your blog, as well as you're doing your artistry work and supporting your artists, and you're doing the YGG movement as well. I mean, you're a busy man. There's no denying that. You're a busy man. And so, again, I am so grateful for this time that you're spending with us today. What advice would you give to somebody in the Philippines, maybe someone in their early 20s who is an aspiring artist, who is struggling financially, struggling to be seen, and questioning right now whether they need to follow their passion or put food on the table? What advice would you give to somebody starting out to start that journey?
Wow. Well, I mean, the most obvious one is message us.
Absolutely, and we'll be sharing all of your links and things throughout the show.
Yeah. Reach out to us, because we're trying to get to our first 100 artists. But if that's not an option, if maybe if maybe you need to do something else, or you're not able to, for whatever reason you can't do the Axie Infinity path or whatever. I mean, honestly, like so this is what makes me very sad, right? This is the thing that possibly one of the reasons why I really got so deeply into the art guild concept is there's so many artists out there who never get their shot. And it's primarily because they have to prioritize food on the table, and the most obvious ways to do that are not to make art. The most obvious ways to do that are to find any minimum wage job.
Yep.
But then those options are starting to diminish a lot because of the pandemic and the lockdown and things like that. So you don't get, like, the service industry here is completely screwed up. I mean, restaurants can't completely open, all of that stuff. So all of those options are starting to diminish really, really hard. So your best bet right now is to find something online that you can do. Commissioned artwork is kind of the thing that I've found most common amongst all of the artists that we bring onto the guild. And here, I'll tell you something, a very important data point that it'll probably blow your mind. So one of the ways that we check for the socioeconomic status of a particular artist who is applying, we will ask them if they do commissions, if they do art commissions for clients, and then if they say yes, we ask them how much they charge, right? So we've had kids who say 200 pesos for an illustration. 200 pesos is about $4. We've had kids say $6. We've had kids say $8. And generally speaking, so firstly, I don't have to tell you that was a ridiculously low amount of money.
I hear.
Right? I mean, it is insane, right?
Yeah.
It's insane. Now, obviously, I don't tell them that, but like what I say is that, okay, we're gonna make it so that you don't ever have to accept that little money for your work ever again. That's the commitment that we will try to make to all of our members.
Absolutely.
And this is kind of one of those things where when you put a number on it, it suddenly becomes very real, right? So that to me was kind of just like, it was jaw dropping. We've got artists in the guild. Actually, about half of them don't have anything other than phones to draw on. So part of the new thing that I'm trying to solve right now is equipment loans. So that's kind of different from all of the other stuff that we've talked about
Yeah.
because, kind of the Axie Infinity revenue is that's obvious and we know how that works. But with equipment loans, it's a little bit trickier because you buy equipment for them and then they pay it back over time at a very, very low interest rate, just so you know that they are really putting their own money into this thing.
Yeah.
But the nice thing about having the Axie revenue is that you can kind of forecast how much they stand to make over a given period of time, right? So if I loaned them $500 to buy a tablet or something, right, that they can actually use as an artist, I have some indication that they will be able to kind of eventually repay that because I know that they are generating regular income through the game.
Yeah.
So again, it kind of goes back to this amazing opportunity that the play to earn thing gives.
Yes.
It's basically like regular income.
It is.
And all of the services you put on top of that, you can just pretend that it is regular income because now you can do employee loans, right?
Exactly.
You can do things like HMO. Now you know that they have some way to kind of pay for some of these things because you can see what they're earning. I mean,
we've
obviously,
seen
it's
this,
always
haven't
going to
we?
be their choice.
We've seen properties now being rented for SLP over in the Philippines. I mean, it's starting to it's starting to expand, and you're absolutely right because now if you're holding SLP, that's a cryptocurrency, regardless of its price. That can be used as collateral.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Like you don't even need to spend your SLP. You can use that as collateral, take out a loan, buy the equipment you need to then carry on playing the game and to do your artistry as well. And yeah, it enables incredible options. And I understand what you're saying because I have in my Discord, we have an artwork channel where people can submit artwork. And even on the stream right now, I mean, the art, all of the artwork that we have, all of the thumbnails, everything is all community generated. We have some incredible artists, and one of the things I'd like to say to you moving forward now, because we do have a scalability issue. I've got incredible artists waiting for a scholarship, and it's difficult. So if it's okay with you, and obviously we may need to talk about this later, I am more than happy to send over our artists to your guild and allow them to stay in our community as a scholar, even though we're not their manager. Because so many people want to be in our community. We've even got people in other scholars coming and just staying in our community because they want to be part of that. I would love to be able to put artists with you because I feel like that's where they belong. If they want to, obviously.
And thank you. That's I 100% for sure. Yeah, I'm happy to do that. The one thing that I will ask from you guys is I need better Axie coaches.
Cody, Coach Cody. I mean,
so yeah, right? I mean, we're better. I mean, by definition, my guild is better at art than we are at Axies.
Yes,
by
of course.
Right?
I think this is I think we can absolutely arrange this, and I'm going to speak to Coach. I mean, I know Coach Cody's already. I've just got his resignation. He's just sent it to me. No, I think I think Coach Cody would love that.
Yeah, and like it's really just like information sharing, right?
Yeah.
I think that's kind of like a lot of these kids. So they're helping each other out. We've got a couple of players who left their original scholarships to join ours because they were getting a really, really terrible deal there. And like they also happened to be artists, so there was a good fit to kind of move over to us, and they know a little bit about the game, but like there's no one really who kind of takes it seriously enough to be like a real coach. So I find that that's kind of where we're weak right now. And if you guys are kind of in a position to help there, and, I'm happy to take on.
I can do that live on stream right now, and I can make that commitment. How about we do this? Any of your scholars who you send via Discord, I will give them a special role within our Discord and allow them into all of the coaching channels.
That's awesome.
And then they can
That's
join the
so
live
cool.
streams. They can get the coaching with Coach Cody. So we can help to educate and train your scholars. And we can send you our artists that want to be scholars. And we can work together like that to buid up both entities. Because we're going esports.
Great.
Like, we will have an esports team. And I'm going to fund the competitive side of this. And we've already spoken to Coach Cody. He will be our coach for the esports team. He loves this. Like, he's in the process of wanting to. I'm not even sure. I'm not going to say anything on stream because I don't want to put him in a position. But I know that he's looking at full time. Like, he wants to be. He loves. This is like, whereas an artist will have that as their passion, I know that for Coach, this is his passion. He just wants to help people and coach people. So that's
so cool. This is so cool.
Yeah, I love
can't
this.
wait.
This is what this is all about. It's these collaborations, these helping each other out, coming together, and the fact that we can do this live on a stream and make this happen, like knowing it's going to impact so many people. It's like on our side, it's already done. Like, I love it.
Oh, that's great. That's so cool. Thank you so much. This is great.
No, this is incredible. Yeah, let's do it. Although there is a caveat. Can we coach them into the top 100 but not the top 50? Because we're really trying to. No, look, it's fine. It's fine.
That's a hell of a. That's the target.
We're going top 100 this next season. We're going top 100. That's our goal.
Oh my god.
Not for every. And this is the thing. I need to stress this. So and for anyone listening, I need to stress this. This is so important. We love the competitive side of things, and we love pushing people as far as they're willing to go. But I just need to stress that anybody that's a scholar with us, we have a minimum requirement of 100 SLP a day. We're not competitive on the minimum requirement because if you don't want to be competitive, you don't have to. This is a choice and it's optional, but it's not required. I want everybody to know that if you do not want to be on social media, if you do not want to be in the Discord, if you do not want to be competitive, there is still a space for you. And the only reason we have this minimal requirement is because we don't want the account to be dormant because it's wasted. So this is purely just 100 SLP a day, 5 days a week. You do not have to work weekends. It's 100 SLP a day, 5 days a week, 50 weeks a year. So we're taking into consideration 2 weeks off and not working weekends. So to be able to do 2 to 3 hours a day should be enough with a coach, with the team that we provide to easily do. I mean, our average in our scholarship is 200 SLP a day. We've got scholars that are smashing 600 SLP every day. So
Jesus.
We're building this because we see that this is about quality over quantity. It's why we stopped breeding. It's why we started looking at specific teams and lineups and coaching. Coach Cody is our most valuable asset, without a doubt. I mean, it goes without saying that without him, we wouldn't be where we are today.
That's so cool. This is so cool.
I love this whole collaboration. And I want people to know, because I don't want people to watch this and think, oh, I'm not good enough, and so I'm not eligible, because anybody is eligible for a scholarship. As long as you're willing to show up. We'll give you all of the tools, all of the training, everything you need. All you need to do is show up. And if you're struggling, we won't remove you. We'll work with you. Anybody that is struggling for SLP, we sit down and we say, well, okay, let's look at where it's going wrong. Like, where can we improve and how can we help? And I think that's so important, is that we don't just abandon people. This is people before profits.
Oh yeah.
We're not a corporate entity looking at numbers. We're looking at building a family.
Yeah.
Hopefully now an extended one.
Yeah. Right? There you go.
I just wanted people to know that in the comments, because I don't want people to I don't want people to worry, and I think it's important because there are managers that don't pay people. I've seen it. I've seen people delete people live on stream, like remove access to their account, and I think to myself, these are people. Like, yeah, you can't do that sort of stuff. I don't agree with that. But I do have a couple of questions, if it's okay. I know we're running out of time, and I'm very, very conscious that I don't want to take too much of your time. But what do you think? Now, this is just a typical question, I know, and we've tried to accomplish this, but people are looking for your perspective. What do you think is going to happen to SLP in the next few weeks or few months?
Okay.
And I know this is one that we can't answer because we don't know, but from your perspective, your opinion.
Yeah. Okay. So I should preface this by saying that I don't have any insider information, and obviously I wouldn't. But
Of course.
the
And it's
this
not
is
financial
purely.
advice. This is purely opinion.
Yeah. Sure, of course. I think so. I said that we were kind of on the way down below 5 pesos to an SLP back in August. We're now at like three and change.
Mm.
I think it'll keep kind of moving towards there until changes are made to either the economy or kind of the maybe the breeding requirements or something like that. The problem is that there's just you've got this massive number of people that are playing the game, and the breeders are not absorbing enough of the SLP.
Yes.
I mean, obviously, right? I mean, that's obviously what's happening. It's just supply and demand.
Yes.
Um, so I think that we're kind of on we're still kind of going to be it's going to be weak. It's going to be a weak market for a little bit. But that being said, I think that it's crypto, right? And these ups and down cycles are these are not these are not indicative of the project being dead. This is only this it's just cycles. We saw this like the last time SLP was at this price range was just back in April. It's not that been that long. I mean, so you kind of like we don't have to panic. But I mean, obviously, I completely understand that there are a whole bunch of people that got into Axie Infinity 2 months ago at like when your team costs were like $2,000 or
Oh, I
whatever, and that's
remember.
very painful.
That's where I
Ah,
started.
and it's painful. It's
Yeah.
super painful. I totally understand that,
Well, there are
and
people
I
that still
totally
remember paying
understand.
gas to fight or to breed and to.
Oh, well, there you go. Yeah. So it's all a work in progress. Let's not forget that the game itself is in alpha,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, people
So
forget that a
the
lot.
Yeah. This is not the final state of the game. So I think that we have to be a little bit more patient, and we also kind of have to remember that it was the decisions of Sky Mavis that got us to 1.6 million daily active users, right?
Yes.
So you got to imagine that they probably know what they're doing. And although they're making decisions that may not be popular to us right now, no one else cares about this community possibly more than they do because this is literally the thing that they think about 24/7,
Yes.
right? I mean obviously you and I cared very deeply about the community, but to them this is not just so it's both all of their biggest dreams and ambitions created into a product, but it's
Yes.
also kind of something that is meaningful to so many people. So like you got to imagine that they care very deeply about this stuff. So let's not forget any of those things. The price of crypto is only one indicator about its performance. It's
Yes.
not it's not always just about the price. But yes, we should be prepared for kind of a weak couple of weeks, possibly a month or things like that, at least until they make some changes.
Yes.
But like, it's still better than not making anything.
This is
And
so
I
true.
think that I mean, right? I mean, it's still a non-zero sum.
Well, and this is what I've
So
been telling people is that if you are in a position to do other work and do this on the side, or take just what you need, like don't cash all your SLP out, take just what you need to live to ensure that the
yeah,
bills are paid and leave the rest in there. And it will, I mean, I spoke to Andrew last week on the show and he hinted towards the decks being launched in the next few weeks. Possibly the end of September, but within a month we should see the decks going live.
okay.
I think that
Yeah.
there's definitely scalability concerns with them not crashing the servers again. So I understand that, and they don't want to launch any changes that are going to bring in another growth spike if they're not ready for it. And I respect that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I also
Yeah.
respect the pain that the scholars are feeling with the price.
Right.
But it's
Right.
it's like they keep saying, right? It's long term. It's you have to look long
Yeah.
term. This is not
Yeah.
a project that is going to be finished, and it's not a project
Yes.
that you're going to capitalize on next week. You have to be
Yeah.
thinking next month, next year. You have to be looking forward. But
Right,
yeah,
right.
that was a great
Sure.
question, Jeff. Thank you for asking, and also for Burn as well. I appreciate that. I have so many questions coming through that I missed because they've where the stream crashed before we started, and I was scrambling to get it all back up. I'm now seeing everything come through. But
Okay, okay.
I do want to ask just before we wrap up: is there anything we can do to support and help you above and beyond, obviously, what we've already spoken about?
Oh, gosh,
What do you
like
need?
no. So um, the guild is kind of on a good path right now. Both YGG and the Crypto Pop Guild. So what I'm trying to do right now is just beef up my Axie intelligence for my own guild. So, and I think that you guys are already going to be super instrumental to that. So I'm very grateful for that help. Um, and then, the rest of it is just like, oh, actually, no, there is one very important thing that I do ask for. If there are kind of problems that are arising within your respective communities or your respective guilds, I would really appreciate it if you tried to let me know somehow. And that could be anything, right? I don't mean to kind of bring up old news, but things like, for example, we had that phase a couple of months back where there was some slight like sexual exploitation allegations. I don't know if you heard about that,
I
about
did
kind of
not.
scholars who were some scholars would try to apply for like a
Oh
scholarship
yes,
from
yes, and the
managers.
things
Yeah,
that
yeah,
they're
yeah.
asked to do for the yes.
Yeah. So things like this are very important to us to hear about
Are you
because
okay to explain that? Do you have time? Because I think for people that are new here and don't
yeah.
know about that, the
Ah,
awareness could be a good
sure.
thing.
Yeah. So I never saw this myself.
Yeah,
These were kind of secondhand stories that were kind of related to me by other managers. But the story was that there were, basically everyone who talks about Axie Infinity on the internet will get a couple of messages, right? Who like the people will say, good day, manager, and I'm looking for a scholarship. Could you help me out, right? And that's a very common occurrence. But a lot of people were kind of taking advantage of those scholars, those potential scholars, and asking them for things like nudes and stuff like that. And obviously, that's not cool,
no,
right? And as far as I know, no one fell for it. I hope to God no one actually fell
I
for it.
can't believe no one asked
Uh,
me. To be honest, no, I'm joking. But no, on a serious note,
yeah,
it is a
yeah,
real
yeah,
concern, and when
yeah,
things
yeah,
like that
yeah.
happen, there has to
Right.
be a channel which we don't really have at the moment. So what you're basically
Yeah.
saying is that
Yeah.
if that happens, you want to create this channel where you can help to address and call
Yeah.
out those bad actors.
Yeah, and it's not just me, right? I mean, there we have managers in YGG who are female, who some people might be more comfortable talking with,
Sure.
especially in matters like this, which is a
Yes.
little bit more gender sensitive. It
Sure.
doesn't have to be me personally. And maybe that wasn't the best example. Maybe the other example that I was thinking of actually was if you had questions or if you had concerns about things like taxation
Yep.
or stuff like that, right? If those were the things that you were deeply concerned about, we want to hear about them because what we're trying to do is get a better sense of where the community is at. And we acknowledge that YGG is not the entire community. There's so many other guilds out there, literally 800 plus based on the archipelago map.
Well, this
So
is a
there's
brilliant point that you bring up because you have also, because you're not busy enough, obviously, you've also created an incentive where you've built this map. And I know we briefly talked about
yeah,
it because we actually built a version as well, more on a global scale, because you focused on the
yeah,
Philippines
yeah,
right now. But
yeah.
you have over 800 guilds, right?
And that's Philippines only. We are figuring out how to go global with this concept. I can tell you that I might have some interesting news next month about it, but for now, that's what it is.
Sure.
It's only self-reported, meaning no guild manager is required to list their guild there. You don't have to say anything to us. But the ones that did, the ones that volunteered that information, there's 800 plus,
Wow.
like on that map right now. So you got to imagine there's probably way more than that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and so YGG is not the Philippines community, right? We are one of it. We're part of it. But what we'd like to do, if possible, is kind of collect all of these like community feedback and figure out if there's a way that we can either kind of turn it into like a public sector, private sector collaboration where we're actually having an open dialogue with, for example, the BIR, the tax man
Yes.
here in the Philippines, right? I mean, because there's a lot of confusion about whether this stuff is taxable or not. And by the way, just to kind of give you guys a little bit of comfort, if you are making less than 22,000 pesos per month from Axie Infinity, you are not going to get your tax liability is 0%. So you're okay. But that doesn't mean that you can just like not file. You still have to file,
But you just
but
won't pay the tax if you're earning
you
less
pay
than.
nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you pay nothing. So
Yeah, I think a
just to
couple
kind
of my
make you guys
scholars
feel
are still in trouble with that. They've gone above that, but most of them that are doing this, it shouldn't be a problem unless you've got other work. Obviously, you need to. It's all income, not just Axie income.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. No. That's correct. That's correct. But like I said, like what we need to do right now is get a better sense of kind of where everyone is at, what their biggest problems are, what their biggest challenges are, and then we'll try to see what we can do. So like, although I say that we're not kind of the, we're certainly not the representative of the entire Philippines community, but we are trying to bring various guilds together
Yes.
to represent play to earn to the government, right? I mean, once that is necessary. It's not currently necessary yet, but from if
We know it's coming.
questions like tax, yeah,
Yeah.
because it's got to, right? At
course
some
it does.
point it will.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think once the
it's
crypto
better
market
to be
hits,
united about it.
Yeah. Once it hits that, I think at the moment the governments are aware. They're very clever. They know what's going on. But at the same time, the crypto market is $2 trillion. It's not big enough yet. Once it hits $6, $8, $10 trillion, which it will. I mean, just look at this morning. The stock market for the first time broke its trend line this morning. Money's flowing out of the stock market. I mean, where's it going to go? It's going to go into other markets, forex markets. There's, you look at. It's not just the crypto market. It's a global economy, and it is growing at a healthy rate. I mean, yes, we had a 50% correction back in May. We're still 200-300% up from where we were start of year.
Yeah, I think we're okay.
I think we're doing quite well so far. So I am definitely interested. If you are, in following up with a couple of months and maybe getting you back on and speaking again, because I would love to see how big your art community has grown. And also what we can do about that. Maybe we can have a look at Arfox or some of these other entities where we can make these galleries, these virtual reality galleries. I don't know if you have that yet.
So I mean, I've definitely thought about it, but I think for now, definitely the art drops in like maybe OpenSea or something like that. That's the most obvious place for us to go.
Yeah. Have you thought about things like Binance and Crypto.com? Have you approached and looked at to them yet?
So Binance I'm familiar with because I've actually exhibited there once. That I sold one piece there a couple months ago.
Congratulations.
So that was okay.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah, thank you. And Binance is it's great because they only charge you 1%, so it's actually a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
That being said, I think that the biggest collector audience is definitely still in Ethereum.
Oh yes.
And kind of in OpenSea and things like that.
Right
so
now,
just because I understand that marketplace a little bit better, that's generally my first instinct with these things. But like, I'm happy to. That's the whole reason why there are other mentors and other coaches in the guild.
Yeah.
Because I don't have to make this decision on my own.
Of course.
And certainly everyone has a vote. So like tell us what you guys think, and then we'll craft the strategy. And I think that's all you can really hope for, right? Give people as much information as you can. Make sure that they don't feel like they're being forced to do anything, and then they can make their own choices. Ideally, that's what we want to set up for everyone, not just the art guild, but for everyone, right?
I think in an ideal world, yes, this is kind of it's almost like the Bitcoin of the crypto world. It's the first iteration of this new direction that we're moving in, and yes, it will evolve and it will expand and pivot and change, but ultimately we need this version to build upon.
For sure.
And I think that by you doing the work that you're doing, and people like yourselves doing the work that you're doing, you're creating that strong, solid foundation for others to follow.
Thank
And
you.
I just want to acknowledge and admire you for that, because
Thank
I know sometimes it's a thankless job, and I
you.
know that sometimes it's a difficult job and you have sleepless nights, because we all do. But the fact that
Oh
you're
yeah.
here, giving your time up to help people and to educate people, yeah, you have my respect and appreciation,
Thank you.
and everybody in the community. I know how much people have been looking forward to hearing from you today. So,
Thank
with
you so
that said,
much.
I don't want to take any more of your time, even though I could quite happily sit here talking to you all day. I know you have places to go and things to do. So, I will reach out to you on Discord if that's okay. I will
Of
definitely
course.
connect you
course.
with my artists and potential scholars, and I think we'll lose Cody as well. No, it'll be fine. I'm sure Cody will be more than happy to do both. We'll just have to figure that out, but we'll see how that
Yeah.
works. I'm excited. I
Yes.
think this is exciting.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Yeah,
And thanks so
perfect.
much. This was it was great hanging out. It was I know that we talked about doing this some time ago. And, like I'm happy that we're finally able to do it.
Yes.
Like you guys are doing something great with your own community, and if there's anything we can do on our side to help support you guys, just let us know. I know that like a lot of this stuff we're trying to figure out as we're going along, right?
Yes.
None of this stuff is set in stone yet.
Well, it's never
So
been
for the
done
first
before.
time,
I mean,
yeah, we're
even this
writing the rule
morning,
book.
I
Yeah.
had a conversation with one of the managers over at Ramp, because
Mhm.
I found out this morning when sponsors were donating Ether to a scholar, I was giving them my Ronin wallet, and they were
Okay.
donating directly into my Ronin wallet. So I was giving the Ronin link to other people, and Ramp
Mhm.
reached out to me, and the reason we've had problem is because Ramp, and it doesn't say it anywhere, but you are only meant to deposit from Ramp into your own Ronin wallet, not into someone else's. Now,
Okay.
I didn't know that,
Okay.
but apparently
Huh,
Ramp are
interesting. All
not a
right.
payment processor, which is kind of what I thought they were. But they were saying that
Oh.
they don't want to be dealing with third-party transactions, and we need to look into
Yes.
this. So, like, this is just a
Yeah.
whole side I never even considered, and I'm like, well,
Right.
we're figuring this out as we go. You know, we're
Yeah.
still trying to figure this out, and it's never been done before. And there is a lot of risk involved in this, but we're not going anywhere. We're going to find a solution, and it's either with you or someone
Oh, yeah.
else. So hey, let's work
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I
for
I
sure.
think that with that mentality, we will find new ways to do things moving forward, and I think we're going to create
Oh, yeah.
incredible solutions to problems that we probably don't even know exist right now. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think it starts one step at a time, and for now, with what we do have in front of us, it happens to just be this onboarding as many scholars as we can, and
Yep.
at the same time creating a safe community for them to be able to express themselves.
Right. Yeah.
I love
That's
that.
it. That's the job. That's
Oh,
the job.
it's such a good job. Do you know what? And this is the thing. People turn around to me now and say, "What do you do for work?" And I've gone through so many iterations of telling people, like from, "Oh, I make digital creatures have sex for money." Like there's,
Ah,
I've gone
that's a
from
good
that.
one though. That's a good one. It's memorable.
I've gone from that to yeah, I change lives, and people will say, well, how? And when you start to explain this, and when people get it, and you can see the penny drop when they get it,
Right.
it
Yeah.
changes everything. It's no longer a
Mm.
job. It's no longer work. It's a passion, and it's,
Yeah.
you know, it's something that you're juiced to be able to get up every morning and say, yeah, this is what I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I love it.
Yeah.
I
No, it's
love it.
great. It's great.
And I support you in every way that we possibly can. And yeah, I'll reach out and connect with you and find out how we can make this work more.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your time. I'm so grateful.
Thanks,
Speak to you
guys. It
soon.
was great. Yeah.
Take
Bye.
care. Bye-bye. Bye. Ladies and gentlemen, wow. I mean, wow. I'm at a point right now where I'm like, where do we go from here? How do we top these interviews? That these guests are just incredible. Like, ladies and gentlemen, can we get a hashtag Lewis in the chat, please? Can we get a hashtag LUIS Lewis in the chat, please? This is, I feel really humbled and blessed right now. I just want to take a minute before we end the stream, because I know we've run over, and I appreciate we've run over on time, but we are building something right now that has never been done before. Just never been done. And to have this ability to create something so impactful, it's going to change generations to come, and we get to experience it. I feel so blessed. I feel so humbled. And it wouldn't be possible without you. Without you showing up on the stream, in the Discord, without you being part of this family, it would just be me talking on a screen to myself. I'm just the person who turns on the camera, shows up for you. All right, and I do it 3 times a week, but you guys, you show up every single day. And I want to acknowledge you, because if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't exist. Yes, we're doing this for you, but we can't do it without you. So if you've enjoyed this stream, if it's been educational, beneficial, if it's been enlightening, if you've just enjoyed it, please give it a share, give it a like. Make sure that you tag not just Undisputed Noob, but make sure that I'll put all the links into the comments. We'll make sure we do that. The Crypto Pop Guild. In fact, before we end, I'm going to go over and see this because I want to have a look. It's one of the things I wanted to do. I couldn't do this on the stream. The reason I couldn't do this on the stream was because the stream's been a little bit messed up. So just give me a second to just swap this monitor over. We're going to go for that one there. Okay, so what I want to do right now, just before we end this stream, I want to open up a new tab. Let's do this. Okay. So if you haven't done this already, and I'm really grateful because all of the links are here so I can see this. Here we go. I'm going to post the, in Twitter. Let's post Twitter first. Okay. If you haven't done this already, please, please, please pop over to the Crypto Pop Art Guild. Give it a follow. Hit the bell icon like I've just done there. And let's follow and support, right? There's 74 followers right now. 74 followers. There's 100 of you on Facebook right now. There's 120 of you watching this stream. There is no reason why at least half of you cannot right now, right this second, pop over and click on that follow. Let's see if live on this stream, I want to get that over 100. There's 75. There we go. Iron. Is that like Aaron? Iron. That's 75. Who else? Who else can we get over there? 77. Let's go. Come on. Over 100 on the stream. Let's do this. At the same time, whilst we're doing Twitter, I'm going to post the Facebook link. Done. Aaron, thank you so much. John, thank you so much. On Facebook as well. Give it a like. Click the like. Give it a like. Let's support. If you've enjoyed this, if it's been beneficial to you. 83. Come on. We've just gone from 75 to 83. Come on, let's go. I want to show the power of this community, guys. How can we help support amazing people? If we want people to show up for us, we need to show up for them. Let's do this. Let's show up. Let's give some follows. Let's get this art out there. If you're an artist, reach out in Discord. Make yourself known. If you're a designer, I want to make sure I can put you in touch so that we can connect you. Let's get this working. Let's get this partnership going. We've already agreed that we're going to sell Cody. I mean, in the last dip, to be fair, the last time the crypto market dipped, I sold my daughter. So, you know, everything's game. We've just sold Cody, as painful as that is. I don't think we can sell Fitzy. We need him. Maybe we can sell Miracle. We'll see. I don't know if we'll get much for him, but we can try. But let's see what we can do. 91. Come on, 9 followers to go. Come on, let's do this. Let's do this. It's like, if you haven't got Twitter at the moment, that's fine. If you haven't got Twitter, I get that at the moment. But come on, if you're on Twitter, guys, if you're on Twitter, let's do this. I don't shill. I don't ask to promote things. I never ask for things like this. But if we're going to have guests on the show, 7 to go. 7 to go. Come on, people. Look, I'm going to change account. I'm sure I've got another account I can log into. Let's do this. Anything that we can do, right? Anything that we can do right now. Come on. I know we can do this. I just need the link. I don't know where it's gone. Let me pick up the Discord. No, it wasn't on Discord. Where was it? It was on Facebook. Here we go. One more time. Give it a follow. Give it a bell. Come on, we're on 95. 95. We're so close. We can do this, chat. We can do this. I believe in you. I think we can do this. Axie is already so much more than a game, and it's quickly becoming more than a community. Soon, Axie will become an entire society. This is what we're talking about, ladies and gentlemen. This is what we are doing. It is about supporting each other. It's the power of a movement. I know we can do it. I do not want to end this stream. We've got 5 more followers, ladies and gentlemen. We need to hit that 100 mark. We need to hit that 100 mark. I can't end the stream. You're going to have to just listen to me. Okay, voting is now open. Who is in favor to sell Miracle? Can I get... What should we open the bidding at? 0.1 ETH? 0.1 ETH for Miracle. I think this is going to become a thing. 96, ladies and gentlemen, 4 followers to go. We just need 4 of you. Just 4 of you. If you can open up Twitter and follow this account, we just need 4 people to follow. 0 minus 0. Oh, so we're going to pay you. So if you want Miracle, we're going to pay you to take Miracle. I think that's what Fitzy's just said. I think Fitzy's saying that he's going to pay you for Miracle. Ken, I love you, man. I love you to bits. It's brilliant. 98, 2 to go. 2 more people to go. That's it. Just 2 more people. Honestly, ask your nan. Just if your nan's not on Twitter, sign her up. All right? If you've got a pet, get them on board. All right? Penelope. Let's get Penelope following. We can do that. 2 people to go. 2 more people. Come on, we can do this. Selling Sir Fitzy. Maybe one day we should have a raffle. Maybe we should have a raffle of Sir Fitzy and Sir Miracle, and we should see who sells the most raffle tickets. 99. Who is going to be the 100th? Who is going to be follower number 100? 1 to go. Who is going to be the final follower on today's stream? We've got 99, ladies and gentlemen. We're at 99. We need 1 more follow. Roberta! There we go. I'm going to ask her. See if we can do this. We need 1 more. There we go. We've done it. Ladies and gentlemen, we've done it. 100 followers. Thank you so much. Thank you. Now, I know you may not be into art, and I get that. And if you're not into art, that is fine. But here's the thing. It's about the community. It's about supporting each other. It's about these moments where we can say, do you know what? I showed up. I made a difference. I supported. And this is what counts, ladies and gentlemen. This is what counts. The fact that we've just hit 100 followers on the Crypto Pop Art Guild. We're going to be doing some work together. I'm sure of it. We're going to bring their members into the guild. We're going to get Coach Cody to help them out. We're going to do the same. We're going to give some applications across. So if you've applied, remember, if you have applied into our website because you're looking for a scholarship, we're going to work something out where if you're a designer, we'll do something where we'll do a little competition, I think. We'll do a competition. And for those people that submit artwork, if those people submit artwork, what I would like for us to do, is for anybody who is following the Crypto Pop Art Guild, anybody that is following, I would like you to make some art. Okay, create some art. Because remember, this is proof of artwork. Okay, you'll have to design. You have to want to do this. You have to be passionate about this. So if you are passionate, submit your artwork. Something about Crypto Pop Art Guild. Go onto their Twitter, have a look, see what they're about. And when you get there, create something. It can be anything you want. I'm going to leave it open to interpretation. Whatever you feel. It can be some music. It can be some design. It can be whatever you want. It can be a painting, it can be a drawing, it can be digital, it can be physical, whatever you want. But create something. Create something for Crypto Pop Art Guild, okay? For Axie Scholar UK. Create something for the both, show it together, and we will present that across, and we will push as many scholars through this program as we can together. Okay, we'll work this out. We're going to keep growing. We're going to keep growing. So that's it for today, ladies and gentlemen. I know it has been a longer stream than normal. I apologize for the delay. I hope you've had a chance to eat dinner. Make sure you stay hydrated, drink, eat, rest well. And we will be back again on Wednesday. Now, Wednesday is going to be our final Coach Cody session live on stream. There is a lot more happening in Discord. If you're not there yet, go to the website, axiescholar.co.uk. Click on the Discord link at the top of the website. Make sure you're in the Discord channel. And whenever Coach Cody goes live, you'll be able to watch and take part, learn about the game. So many of our scholars have started so well because they've been watching. They've been learning so that when they get that Axie, they're ready to go. So if you haven't yet got your team, make sure you're in the Discord. Make sure you're following Coach Cody. And make sure you're following Crypto Pop Art Guild. And we'll do something together. All of you, each and every one of you, the likes, the comments, the shares, the donations, every one of you, thank you. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope it's been good today. Sorry for a few of the technical issues at the start. I apologize. Hopefully we'll get that fixed for next time. But look, we made it. We made it to the end of the stream and it didn't crash again. And that's what counts, right? So, yes, so you're talking about getting Jeff. You want to get Jeff. So I can confirm that I've spoken to Andrew, Zori TV, and he will be coming back onto the show in a month or two. And when he does, we're going to look to bring Jeff on as a guest. So we will have that. It will happen. But we need to just get this next cycle out of the way. We need to get the decks live. We need to get SLP into a place where it's starting to pick up again. And we will be bringing in more guests. So look, if there's anyone you want to see, if there's anyone you want to hear from, anyone you want to talk to, let me know. And we'll do our best to bring them onto the show. But from me, from myself, from the team, from everybody on board, from the moderators, from Fitzy, from me, I wish you a good day. And if you're grinding, keep grinding. If you're waiting, wait patiently, my friends. We'll get there. We'll get there. I'll speak to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.